Hello everybody and welcome, my name is Ryan, and today my plan is to show off one of my favourite overpowered strategies in Civilization 6. Now over the last 12 months we've been treated to an array of DLC with the Leaders Pass, where we have a bunch of new leaders like Young Lei being very particularly one of them, and Theodora and Ludwig. Leaders that have changed what Civ 6 defines to be an overpowered build, some leaders with some frighteningly powerful abilities. However, as last time I showed off with my Rough Rider Teddy build, some of the old leaders, well, they still work brilliantly. And today I'm going to be showing off one of the original leaders of the game who I think this particular strategy, if you nail it down, oh boy, it's very, very powerful. Some would say overpowered, and I like the fact this is one of the original leaders because it means everyone, no matter what DLC you own, you'll be able to join in with the joy here. Sit back, relax, and let's get our absolute Greek Empire with Gorgo on. Now today's build is all about Gorgo and the Greek Empire, one of the original civs in the game, and Greece is remarkably versatile, with a wildcard policy slot and a unique theatre square that's very cheap to build and brilliantly awarding envoys as it goes along. Greece is a very culture-heavy but versatile civilization that packs a punch with an early game hoplite. Very early to unlock, this ancient era unit is plus 10 combat strength as long as it's got one adjacent hoplite near it. Means it goes from 28 strength to 38 strength, which is more powerful than a swordsman and also much cheaper to build. It also has a really good set of promotions. Bronze working is where we find iron, it's where we find encampments, and Gorgo's main ability, providing culture equal to defeated units that you kill, and also getting combat strength for every military policy slot equipped. Well, that all stacks very nicely with a little bit of a boost to get to mysticism. Should you want to get revelation, which is normally what I do with the profit points, it also, however, takes you to military tradition, which lets you get maneuver, strategos, which gives you great general points. That's very useful with a civ that gets a wild card, and unlocks flanking. Gorgo can be incredibly powered early game. This build is all about learning to manipulate the tech tree and the civic tree together to come up with an ancient era battering ram force that can easily plow your way through any sort of early game resistance. Now we're playing Deity today, I've got standard speed. This is a balanced start, but otherwise a normal continents and islands map. These are the details of it, but you too can play it if you come along to Discord, because I keep the save files of every game in there. Copy and paste it onto your computer, or build it yourself with these configurations. The important thing to note, however, there are no game modes turned on today. We're playing raw basic Civ 6 with all the DLC, but otherwise very standard. And this is not a legendary start. Hopefully, looking at this, you'll appreciate that this is quite an average start. Yes, I've got a Plains Hill, which is pretty good. Yes, there are some things in my second band or second tile range of my city, but it's not a wonder start. And continents and islands means that we are only going to be on a maximum of 2 other people on my continent. I wanted to show you a particular start that works on pretty much any map, and because of that, I kind of wanted to keep it quite neutral. Now, fellow Civ 6 fan, if you're anything like me and you love coming up with these sorts of overpowered builds and strategies, you'll probably have an active, inquiring mind that enjoys logical learning. I've always enjoyed puzzles, science, and mathematics, but as I've got older, I found I don't naturally carve out the time to sit down and pick up new subjects. Luckily, I found a fun and easy way to start learning about all sorts of cool topics. Brilliant, the sponsor of today's video. Brilliant is an awesome way to learn maths, data science, and computer science interactively. There are thousands of lessons for you to explore, with more added every month. They also come in bite-sized chunks, making it much easier to build a daily learning habit. Long-term viewers know that I studied chemistry at university. Well, not well, admittedly. And I'd been looking for a way to get back in the saddle with my maths and science for some time. I'm currently working my way through Brilliant's algebra courses. It's been a lot of fun, even with my old adult brain. If you fancy giving Brilliant a go, check it out at brilliant.org/Ursaran, or click the link in the description. It's free to use for 30 days, and there's a 20% off discount available on their annual premium subscription. Honestly, I've loved it so far, and I think you will too. And now to return to the video. Turn 1, and looking through this particular start, as mentioned before, a Plains Hill means I can settle on this tile to get a 2-2 capital city centre, which is quite nice. I don't think it make sense to move off this. I could go towards the floodplains in order to get some wheat. I could move across the river, maybe to this plains hill in order to work the citrus on turn 2. This capital kind of gives me a few different places that I could be settling, and some good tiles in the second ring. I don't mind it, actually. I can work a 3 food tile right from the bat, and yes, maybe working a 3-1 is better, but I'm going to pick that up pretty early game. So I'm going to settle as is, although I tell you what I'll do. My other alternative would be to move 1 tile down there. I'm going to move my warrior down just to see what I unlock. Rainforest to the south of me. Interesting. That is something that I would kind of like to work pretty quickly, and if I move to this tile, I'll be able to work that banana on my 3rd tile. You know what? I think I'm going to just work and put Sparta right from the outset on that nice tile. It's working a 3 food tile. It means I'm going to grow nice and quickly. Let's get the scout out as fast as I can. Now, in order to make this build work, yes, I could go for a religion. I don't necessarily need it. I could go for horses to see if I could go for horsemen. I don't necessarily need it. I'm going to go mining and straight into bronze working. My aim is to unlock a few techs all at once, or at least quickly. Mining, bronze working to unlock my hoplites and to find out where the iron is. Masonry to unlock battering rams as early as I can. And wheel to unlock not only the watermill, but then to get down to engineering. Now, I'll have an ancient wall by this point, and I can unlock catapults. These are the tools from which I will forge my empire. Now, you can see immediately it is working. This citrus tile, this is the one that culture will unlock for me, so I will work it eventually. Yes, I know I've missed out on a little bit of early game production, but I'm happy with keeping my capital there. It also keeps this tile. This already looks to be at least a +3 campus. Now, campuses aren't going to be something I'm going to rush for, but it is quite a useful thing to know. Oh, a city-state directly to my south. That is very good to know. And one directly to my north. Interesting. One production towards workshops. Sorry, if I have a workshop. It's one production towards buildings, wonders, and districts. And this one, Singapore, another industrial city-state. More importantly, though, I like to call these, what's the best way of putting this? 2 targets. Barbarians have found me directly to the north. That is a wonderful thing. My warrior is going to immediately go and track these down. I want to be getting as many barb kills as I can in the early game. That will absolutely turbocharge my culture and will help me to pull this strategy off even faster. Already had a flood to my north. Good to know. Some useful tiles up in that direction. And my scout, I'm going to actually send it weirdly towards the mountains in this direction to see what's going on over there. Now, I want a decent production base as early as possible. So for me personally, I like going for that early game settler. It lets me just put 2 cities down, and then I've got 2 cities producing a bit of a military. Once I unlock hoplites, I want to have enough cities to be able to pump them out in a very effective and rapid way. There we go. Look, now I'm working that 3-1 tile. The city will continue to grow nicely for me. There are some really good tiles to my south. I could easily settle a city down here and be working 5-2 tiles immediately, or go over towards the honey. Really, really good starting location for me. One of the reasons I want to go for barbarians as well is bronze working gets a lovely boost when you kill 3 barbarians. Let me tell you, 40% off a tech in the ancient era when you've only got 3 science per turn. It's the sort of stuff that makes a big difference. Oh, there we go. There's the barbarian. Speaking of, there is another set of barbarians directly to my south. We're spoilt for choice. In fact, we're going to do our best representation of 300 here by forming a sort of passageway between 2 mountain lines as a horde of barbarians comes towards us. This is wonderful. I'm going to pull back 1 tile so the barbarians can only hit me 1 turn after another, and I'm going to fortify. Now, fortifying gives you a defensive bonus. I think it's +3 and it goes to +6 eventually, but it also lets you heal every turn, which is a good thing because I'm going to need all the health I can get. I mean, the slinger may ruin my experience on that one, but if I fortify now, hopefully I can wait until the slinger gets close to me and then we can attack it from that. Chinguetti directly below me as well. 3 decent city-states all nearby. Very good to know indeed. Hopefully I'll start getting attacked. Yep, look, 3 experience, which is lovely, and we're going to immediately pop in discipline. 5 combat strength when fighting barbarians. Very helpful indeed. Urban planning and God King. This is the wildcard policy I was talking about before. Very, very handy. Now we're going to go craftsmanship and we're going to go straight to military tradition. I want to unlock flanking as soon as I can. Now, I could pull back 1 tile, thinking about it. That would let me either defend on a hill or in a forest, which would give me even more defense. It's also nearer my territory, so I could buy the tile in theory and heal faster. Although they're going to annoy me now by using a slinger here, which can attack me regardless of what I do. Yeah, I'm actually going to attack that back, get the experience, and hopefully drive it off. I need to be able to attack it in such a way that the warrior isn't going to be able to counterattack and kill my warrior back. So I'm going to move back to Sparta. I've got my scouts moving in now as well. I could have put in 2 military policies here in order to boost my combat strength. I'm getting +1 from the military policy slotted, and you can go immediately to +2. But I thought getting double experience on a builder, on a scout, it's useful, but it's not the most useful thing. Oh, there we go. They've just moved somewhere that my beautiful warrior can come in and just get the kill. There's 10 culture. Did you see how much that boosted that? Absolutely huge. And the scouts can actually take out the slinger, which gives me another 2 culture. Slingers aren't worth very much, but scouts are. I'm going to work these 3-2 tiles immediately. So my settler's going to go down and settle this tile. That's looking really nice for me. Bronze working, we've almost unlocked already. I'm going to give 1 turn of healing on the scout. And I'm going to immediately start thinking about what I can do to improve my army. Well, best thing I can do is get a great general early on. The great generals won't improve my hoplites, but they will improve other units, and they're definitely something I want a monopoly on, especially Boudica. This is a really good choice for a classical era general, because I could actually convert barbarians to my cause. So let's go for a builder. That means we can boost craftsmanship super quick. So hopefully they charge into me. Yep, they did, but I had a nice boost of defense there, which was lovely. I'm going to get the battle cry promotion on that warrior, leave it on the same tile without moving. I'll get 10 health there. Pull my scout. Do I need to pull my scout back? No, they will survive another attack, so I'm going to take 1 more hit. Just tank it nicely. Armagh has appeared to my north as well. We are massively getting lucky with city-states. Not every start is like this, but we have a lot of city-states for us to choose from here. So we tanked that hit very nicely. Scout comes back to heal, and now my battle cry warrior can really do the whole Thermopylae thing and start charging and holding this pass. As mentioned, fortify. Let them attack you. You get all the defensive bonuses, and here is city number 2. I could have settled somewhere on a plains hill like this rainforest, but I just think having access to those 2 tiles immediately works really, really well. I'm just going to mark out something that I've seen as well. Acropolis ×2. Lovely little bonus there. They get wonderful adjacencies from being next to other districts. So a government plaza between the 2, that's some really nice districts indeed. And if I start putting things like encampments near them as well, we can get some very high value districts indeed. Now, normally I would wait for craftsmanship to boost, but I'm actually thinking of just pushing through it. There's no point waiting for the builder there. I'm going to get some culture killing these barbs anyway, so that works nicely for me. I'm going to get myself a slinger. 10 tons, hopefully will sync up with bronze working nicely, and hopefully I get a little bit of suicide on me. Yeah, there we go, it's suicided. Bronze working is boosted. That was my 3rd kill. Delightful. Craftsmanship is boosted. Let's go straight to military tradition. Now, I've already met a bunch of religious city-states, so I don't need God King. I'm going to put urban planning up there, and I'm going to put a Gogi down here. This will let me produce my units 50% faster. It'll also give me +1 combat bonus, which is quite tasty. Yep, suicided on me again, and this time the slinger is having a proper go at me, but won't get the kill just yet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this unit back in order to keep it nice and safe, and I'm going to pull my scout through to stop the slinger from attacking my warrior. And with bronze working done, we've unlocked the encampment, but also the hoplite. Now we're going to beeline for masonry and get the battering rams as quickly as possible. Ancient walls, you say? Whilst I'm healing on that tile, it is an iron resource, and it's something that I do want to work pretty quick. I'd like to be able to produce not only swordsmen, but man-at-arms later. So we're going to buy that tile. There's 2 things. Firstly, it gives me a tile to work that gives me some science, which is a wonderful thing. It takes me from 19 turns on masonry to 16. It also means I start healing faster every turn. Now, this scout, I am absolutely going to promote. I'm going to give it Alpine, I think. Gives it a nice chunk of health, food, whatever you want to call it. Lets it heal up nicely. Here comes my builder. Annoyingly, Mexico City's warrior has stood right in the way, but now I can build hoplites. Ah, yes. This is where the game gets rather fun. Charge with the warrior, get the kill, boost military tradition even further. I'm going to let that roll forward 1 more turn, but then killing a barb outpost is something that we should naturally do anyway, so I'll switch over my civic at that point. Oh, so many slingers, and it looks like Mexico City is doing its best not only to annoy me, but also to kill my warrior, which is really annoying. By moving there, I physically can't escape, which is very frustrating. Oh well, it's fine. The warrior has done a lot for me. Oh, I meant to switch over military tradition there. Oh, I did survive. I did survive, which means the scout can come in and blockade. But we want to rescue that as soon as we can. Good. A slinger has been produced. We're building a small army now, but we're now going to go to double hoplite building. This is why I got the second city, is to do this as fast as we can. Ironworking, bam, wheel and ironworking both boosted. Wheel is a really good one to boost, trust me. Here is the hoplite. First one you build, well, that's likely to be the weakest, but it's the next one you build. Oh, it's always the next one. Here we go, move you in, and it's not even the upgraded hoplite, but it's still a lot of damage. I'm gonna stand and fight. I love it. Pantheon time. When it comes to the Pantheon, you got a few options. Fertility rights is always good fun for a quick builder to improve a lot of stuff in your capital. However, my choice, I believe, is whether I want to improve this marsh tile or the iron tile. Both are being worked, both are very handy. Production is what I need for units. I mean, at the moment, I've got 9 production per turn, so even getting 1 extra production is another 10% easily in the city. So we've got the choice. We can either go for 1 production and 1 faith from improved strategic resources, like this one, or we could go for one of my favorites, Lady of the Reeds and Marshes, plus 2 production on the marsh, turning a pretty useless tile into a very good tile indeed. There's no real marsh around me, but there is more iron, and iron is something that I will be trying to settle later. So I am tempted to go for the extra faith. However, I think 2 production is better than 1, and I think it's all about early game momentum. So we're going to go Reeds and Marshes this time. Both are good answers, and there are probably other good Pantheon choices you could make instead. But for me, it's just a nice little move. Now, remember, hoplites cost 1 maintenance. So, you know, just watch your gold hemorrhage slowly. I've now combined the 2 hoplites. They have a shared pool, plus 10 combat strength, now attacking with 43, which is frighteningly strong. Another hoplite produced in the south. That's my 3rd. We're going to go find that barb encampment as quick as we can. I'm also just investigating Mexico City. I suspect with mountains around it, it's quite an easy target for me, and it's kind of what I'm looking at as my first target right now. But the hoplites will move forward, and we're going to try and take out this barb encampment as quick as we can. Military tactics boosted there. I love that. It's a very difficult boost to get. You don't normally use spearmen like this. So it's worth keeping an eye on city-states. How much gold do you need to levy the military? If it says 200, it means they have 5 warriors somewhere, which is 5 loads of culture. Remember that too. Masonry is there. I can do battering rams now, so I'm going to just quickly take a wheel. Had I gone for the other Pantheon, I'd be more interested in where horses are, but I'm not. Already got my production from this marsh tile, which is lovely. Okay, the spearman took the bait, which is lovely. I can now go 1, 2 attacks and claim military tradition. And with that, take discipline out. I no longer need that, and put strategos in. 2 general points per turn. I want to be earning those as soon as I can. Somebody's getting +1. Dear oh dear. How rude of them. How absolutely rude of them. How much is a battering ram to buy? 260. That's okay. If I'd met more city-states that were military city-states, I'd be tempted to get an encampment in ASAP, but I have not. So I'm going to instead buy the build the battering ram. I need at least 1. You can see, oh, Mexico City, you've unfortunately left this warrior in a bit of a precarious place. So as I quickly move to early empire to get myself my first governor, Mexico City, I am going to declare war on you. Oh, look at that, conveniently, I seem to have surrounded your unit with mine. How funny. And even though you're an anti-cav killer with your warrior, I can get an extra 10 and +6 from flanking because I've moved all my units around. It's worth keeping the scout around for this, actually. Now we're going to just start pushing in and having a look. Nothing in Mexico City at the moment. Good to know. Oh, they can't help themselves as well. They cannot help themselves. They moved their warrior in. My slinger can get a nice attack, and my hoplite. Actually, you know what? I'm going to let them attack me across the river. They can do a lot of damage to themselves doing that. Now, I know that Mexico City can be attacked from the other direction, so I'm going to gamble on that and move my warriors, my hoplites to the north. Mar looks like it can get around the other side as well, so that is a good thing for me. In terms of upgrades, both sides are good. I quite like, both are pretty good. Double support bonus is a huge combat strength for defending. The defending versus melee class really does you well at the early game, so I'm going to go thrust for now. So they'll probably attack the slinger. Nope, they're going to run. Interesting. Love it. Fine. Cool. I'll just move my units around, let them try and attack me in whatever way they choose. And looks like there is a pass around the back. Might take a couple of turns for me to get there, but we will get there. Is this warrior going to attack me from the other direction? No, it's going to try just going straight to the city. Sure. You going to attack me? Yeah, they're attacking my slinger. Oh, and my hoplite. Okay, sure. Do that. There's volley, and they're going to try and pillage my farm. That is a little annoying. Oh well, it's just a tile. It's just a tile. We won't worry about that too much. I've got reinforcements on the way. I've got this warrior. Will be strong enough to go and take it out in a second. I'll move the scout maybe down. No, there's no need. Instead, I'm going to go one attack like that. Get early empire sorted. We're beelining political philosophy to pick up oligarchy as quick as we can. 4 combat strength, or melee and anti-cav units. Oh, it's good. Another 10 culture just to push that one along. And a governor. Nothing wrong with getting some good era scores. I'm actually going to get Armani first and pop it straight into Armagh. I need to know what the territory is like in that direction. Oh, that's unfortunate. There is no way through. There is a lake. Oh, I felt so smug going the back way. Fine. Well, the hoplites have been distracted a few turns, but never mind. We're going into Dark Age, which is not a bad thing. I don't mind going into a Dark Age in this sort of early war. It's not a problem. Mali, not a bad first target, really. I'd love to visit I always do that. Come visit my city. Never press that button. Don't do what I do. It's a silly thing. Right, battering ram is finished. Now to the front line we go. To escort it with this hoplite now. I've got another one in 3 turns, but just go with a good thing. They're unique units. They're very, very strong. 4 turns is fine. Wheel has unlocked the watermill for me. Let's go now to engineering and catapult. Seems like a weird one to just sort of beeline, but it makes sense. It does make a lot of sense. I can get a lot of gold per turn from selling some early game iron to Mali, which I'm tempted to do just for some gold up front. That would get me the watermill, or would let me buy another hoplite for some momentum. Could also get a luxury from them for a bit more loyalty for when I go into my inevitable Dark Age. They are getting iron themselves. They have iron themselves, so that's actually quite handy to know. Means I can get both of these. They were going to get the iron anyway, so we might as well get some gold from them before they work out that they've got it themselves. Fine. Okay, that means that my capital is now happy. It just increases the production in the city just a little bit, and there we go. Look, they're going to start attacking me now. But unfortunately for you, you are not going to do very well in this fight because you've let me surround all of your units perfectly. Look how powerful the hoplites are. And now we're going to start surrounding Mexico City. Now you'll note the slinger and the scout have made their way up to Mexico City. It's because they're weaker units, which means the city defense is likely to attack them instead of my frontline units. Now, yes, I'll take more damage, but my frontline units are what I would like to call useful. They actually are going to do damage to Mexico City, and I don't want them being hit any more than they have to. Look at that. You see? Slinger gets hit. Easy stuff. Armagh, look at that. That is a very siegeable city. We'll be able to move our units through this direction and go and attack that pretty quickly. So we're going to do that. I'm going to take 6 turns as well just to pick up ancient walls in my capital. I don't need them defensively, but I do need it for the engineering boost. Battering ram makes its way in. All of my other units are just going to fortify outside of Mexico City, although I could actually send my scout round in order to siege Mexico City from the other direction. So we're going to do that. But 1, 2... and you can see the walls are shredded. In fact, I don't even need the slinger there now. Let's just move my units around. I want to start mapping out my future attacks as well. Singapore is clearly a good target after Armagh. I'm going to want to head down this way, but the terrain's pretty bad. So in order to get a boost, I'm going to build a trader, send it from Sparta. That'll produce a really nice road for me, and it'll let me funnel my troops down very nicely indeed. I'm moving my scouts onto this tile. As you can see, now sieges Mexico City, because all of the tiles around Mexico City, this one, and this one, are now under zone of control. Being under siege means that the city no longer heals. So next turn, we should have enough combat strength to take the city out. Armagh has quite a large army, including this archer, which is a problem. That's the one I want to kill. Archers have an annoying little niggle on our units from time to time. It's all good. Mexico City takes 1, 2 hits. The city is mine. We'll keep it. It's a 3rd city. I can now be producing fun things. It's actually got a decent tile. I mean, it's not the best city in the world, but when its monument is finished, that's going to massively increase my culture per turn. And more important, it's a 3rd city that I didn't have to build with a settler because I've been producing army this whole time. A much more effective use of my production. What I'm going to do is try moving my units around as I approach to see if I can get a good direct attack on this archer. If I can get the attack on the archer, then I will declare war. See if we can kill it in one go. State workforce, that's a bad boost for me. I was just about to pick that up anyway. right, never mind. You can see trader, walls, monument, not producing units at the moment, so I'm going to put conscription in. Reduces the hoplite maintenance cost from 1 to 0, which is lovely. It means they're 3. They are effectively 3. And we're almost halfway to Boudica. Boudica needs to sync up with catapults. That's kind of the timing we're looking for there. Another governor as well. I'm keeping Armani in Armagh, by the way, just to keep an eye on where their units are. I'll switch her over to Singapore in a second to do the same thing down there. I think, for me personally, Victor is tempting. Victor means that I can start producing units with a 3 promotion, which is a really good thing for momentum. Pingala is also great for early game science and culture, which sometimes when you go for a really heavy war build like this one, you can fall over yourself on that one a little bit. Political philosophy, yeah, you know what? Pingala, I think, is the more sensible approach, but Victor would be a decent choice as well. I could produce a monastery, which is interesting, because Mexico City has no housing, so it would actually give +2 housing, or +1 housing at least to the city, but a little bit of extra faith. Hey, faith is always useful. Faith you can use to get great generals. Great generals are very, very useful indeed. Trader done. Send that from Sparta. Very good indeed. Now I need to start getting my districts down. Got a little bit of a space where I don't have the bonus in for hoplites, so we're going to take advantage of that and go for this government plaza in Corinth. Let's get that sorted. We can get our really good districts in a little bit. When an era rolls over, you get a huge boost of science and culture towards whatever is deemed to be a little bit obsolete. That's why I just gained a huge amount of culture towards political philosophy, and engineering just boosted nicely as well. Normal age. Hey, normal is better than dark. We'll take it. But we're going to be doing a lot of building great work slot buildings. Trust me. So pen, brush, and voice will do nicely in Sparta. Get the trade route now to Singapore. This will just produce a lovely road that connects all of these cities with what I would like to call my next target. Again, just taking advantage of this small break in order to build an encampment in this city. It just provides more great general points and more production towards units. You know, I haven't declared war on Armagh just yet. I'm just waiting for the perfect opportunity to move my units around and hopefully get a kill on an archer like this. That would be the best thing. If I can kill that archer in the first turn of war, I would take that as quite the success. Also spreading their units around nicely as well in order just to give them as much abject chaos as possible. Macedon likes a bit of war. No, I'm not giving him access to my city. Oh, he's found it anyway, so that's not too useful a thing. There we go. This is the scenario we've been waiting for. Unfortunately, Macedon is going to see what I'm doing, but never mind. Let's move you immediately, Armani, to Singapore, like so, and declare war on Armagh. Now, we're going to take out the archer as quickly as we can. I probably should have attacked in the other order, actually, so that my units could have held in a little bit nicer there, but there's the battering ram, there's my hoplite, like so. We're all synced up, we're all next to each other, all of our units are adjacent to each other, so that's good. And I'm going to let them attack me across the rivers, like that. That's not a problem for me. Don't mind that at all. Now, I personally don't do this, but remember, if you are the sort of person that enjoys this exploit, you could say, you can buy Diplo Favor right at the beginning of the game for 2 gold and all of it, because the AI doesn't value it before the first Congress. So what you could do is strip all the Diplo Favor to keep all of the AI below 30, so that they can't declare an emergency against you for killing city-states. At this point, an emergency wouldn't be a problem, by the way. I'm not fussed about it, because even if they declare war on me, I mean, what are they going to do? Throw units at me so I get tons of culture? Oh no, what a shame that would be. There's the kill as another bunch of culture. Look at this. All of my hoplites are now in and surrounding Armagh. I have a warrior sat on a very defensible position, fortified, keeping these 2 warriors totally distracted. Okay, they are doing a little bit of bombarding to me, but that is already fine. Political philosophy unlocked. Immediately without thinking, go for Oligarchy. There's 2 things. The combat bonus is wonderful. +4 combat strength is really big. 20% unit experience is also something that you cannot say no to. I'm going to also improve Gorgo's ability to have +1 combat strength every time you have a military policy in your government. So we're going to pop a Gorgi back in, and I'm going to pick another one. I think +2 loyalty per turn for cities with a garrison unit can be quite fun, but I'm also going to do discipline just for now, because the barbs, they are around, they are being annoying. If I can just avoid them killing me, that would be a lovely thing. Government Plaza means that I now have a governor. Let's get myself immediately Connoisseur. Wonderful ability, that one, because I want to immediately go and unlock drama and poetry. Did you see that? I've gone from 6.5 to 12.3 just then. So we're going to unlock my unique improvement, then we're going to beeline towards Statue of Zeus and military training. It's quite the combo. All the while, Armagh is being sieged, and yeah, it won't take us long to do that. In fact, actually, I'm going to boldly start moving the rest of my army in the other direction. Did you see how much combat strength I had there? +3 from military policy slotted, and +4 from oligarchy means I just got an extra +6 combat strength on all of my units there, which is pretty nice. Warlord's Throne can be a lot of fun. 20% bonus production in all cities for 5 turns whenever you take a city. I would say Ancient Era, not worth rushing that one. It's very tempting to, but I would personally get more troops, because the production you get as bonus production is kind of offset by other production you put into the building in the first place. So sort of, yeah, it's whether it actually gives you a benefit is debatable. There you go. Armagh's walls are now down. I'm just going to trade out that unit. We should take that in maybe 2 turns. Yep, the rest of my units now are making their way back south. Now, I would like my capital as quickly as possible to get to... I'm just trying to think about what population I'm going to need. Hang on, I put the government plaza in Corinth, so to get an encampment and an acropolis, and so it's actually Corinth that needs the population. Fine. I mean, Pingala's always good to boost, but no, I'm going to actually treat myself to that gold tile, chop it down, gives me just a little bit more towards the hoplite, but also a bunch of food to help that city grow a little quicker. Oh, and the battering ram is now coming south. There is no need to keep it in Armagh any longer because the walls are down, they can't be fixed whilst I'm attacking it, and the city's under siege anyway. Engineering, there's the catapult. Now that I have engineering and access to catapults, I can kind of do the stuff that I've been missing out on, which is the rest of the tech tree. I only got 5 techs versus Macedon's 10, so we have fallen behind a little bit, but don't worry, we'll catch up very quickly. Animal husbandry and pottery now. Torres del Pagne, okay, perfect. Singapore has just agreed that I am the best thing since sliced bread. That's given me access to all of this visibility, which is wonderful, and yeah, we can now see where Mali is. A 4 population city there. Chinguetti. This is a hugely popular city-state, so I'm actually going to go 1-2, take them out, and I think that should give me access to something a lot more juicy, to put it that way. Look, this road is started as well now, which is beautiful. So I'm still producing hoplites, but Sparta is now going to start producing catapults. These will sync up with my great people very, very nicely. And speaking of, Armagh is totally sieged. So, I mean, this is a pasture. I don't know what's being kept because, as you know, it's actually a known fact in Civ, but horses are totally invisible until you unlock them. It's because they're ghost horses. I'm actually going to pillage these 2 tiles there. Gives me about 100 faith, and it means I've got some faith to rush by a general when I need one. So it's quite handy. Archery boosted with a slinger kill. Another 10 culture. Just take the culture kills when you can. It's very, very tasty indeed. Geneva's over in that direction. I suspect that means that Macedon is to my left. Never a problem. Oh, you can see it. Commandant General has been taken in this game, which means Grand Columbia's in it. Always quite aggressive there. It's never an entirely good thing. Armagh is taken. My 4th city. Let's keep it. And again, fix the monument for a bit of extra culture. City-states are really good for building monuments. It's very kind of them. I probably could have killed a warrior there for a little bit more culture. Left that on the table, but never mind. We're going to move my troops down further south. As you can see, we can still sell. I can sell my Diplo favor now. This is all the naturally generated Diplo favor, not the stuff that I've bought from the AI. I could still buy it from the AI. As I say, I choose not to. It's just where I draw the line on these sort of things. It's a bit of a random line, I know, but what can you do? You have to have weird lines. The cities that are away from a front line, like Mexico City, this is the sort of place that I'm actually just generating some builders and infrastructure that will keep my empire ticking along whilst I'm at war. Closer cities, the more industrious cities, I'm just using to keep an eye on Singapore and send units down in this direction. The battering ram making its way. It's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th turn we can declare war. That's not too bad actually. Momentum is with me and the army is coming with it. Moving this many hoplites from one area of the map to the other reminds me very much of the Macedon scenario that we played. It was mad that unlocking irrigation, I have tea and citrus in my empire and I would like to unlock both or improve them into my empire as quick as I can. Corinth is still kicking out those hoplites, but we've unlocked my unique district, which I'm going to slap down as soon as I can. It's a huge amount of culture per turn, and as I say, now we've got drama and poetry. Military training is where I want to be going as fast as I can to unlock Statue of Zeus. How do you intend on growing your empire if you refuse to fight for your people? What do you think I've been doing? I guess Macedon thinks that these are weak targets that aren't worth my time, to which I kind of you know, semi-agree. Don't worry, Macedon. I'll show you eventually. It's all about now picking techs that are going to help with your invasion plans. Military tactics is not a bad one. Having a pikeman as an upgrade to my unique unit. Yes, I lose a 28 strength unit with plus 10, but it will become a 45 strength unit, which is a lot more powerful, that will react to great generals. So that's kind of where I'm going. I'm going to pick up archery first, though. Sun Tzu, my first general. Well, you know, he won't work on any of these units at the moment. These are all ancient era units, so I get no benefit from him. However, don't worry, that won't last forever. Trading away my Diplothather here slowly, just to get myself a little bit of gold. That's the barracks in my capital. Gives me a little more housing, lets Sparta grow a bit faster, but more production towards my units. And also, unfortunately, it doesn't improve the siege, but it would improve my hoplites as they're being built in this city. Plus, it's a great general point. I like great general points. Pingala will upgrade those at some point very soon, so it's all looking good. You only need 1 or 2 catapults, by the way, for this tactic to be very effective, so just keep an eye on this. Improved T though. Huzzah! Now I personally like trading away this sort of stuff for early game gold. Don't have to, but the more resource I trade away, the more gold I get, and the more I can just insta-buy stuff, which is typically more useful for you. You can see my battering ram is now available to immediately walk into the city, so I'm going to move Amani out, which will move my hoplites around a little bit, but actually was a quick way of teleporting around the side of that archer, which has worked quite well for me. Singapore, apologize, but I'm not really that sorry. This time I'm actually going to make sure that the unit further back is the one that gets the kill, and then, you know, pushes forward a little bit. Excellent stuff. Battering ram in. Hoplite immediately come in and smash the wall once. We want those walls down as quickly as possible. Oh, yeah, that was fast. Now, hopefully, their units will just panic and attack me on all fronts, which is kind of what I'm hoping they will do. This scout's barely been able to move. It's just, again, I like being stuck in mountain passes against swarms of enemies. It's very effective. You can't kill me. I'm invincible. There we go. There's the catapult. Okay, we just need to make sure that we clear the route for them. Move you this tile around, which means I can bring you in to attack that unit. There we go. Look at that. Singapore's taken some damage now, and another attack. Yeah, we're going to have no problem here. No problem here at all. Catapult moves forward, and Sun Tzu is just going to escort the catapult and fall asleep. There's nothing else I'm going to really have to do in this location. I'm going to hold off on the trader for a turn and send the route from Singapore. That'll just give me a more usable and more efficient road than if I send it from Sparta now, and it'll just take a few turns to get that. Good thing about Greece is that whilst you're at war, you can be building your unique culture district everywhere. Now, you don't need to get all the writers, but it's the extra culture per turn you get will boost you heavily through the tree and straight to the good governments as quickly as you can. So many people forget about culture when it comes to good domination strategies. You don't want to forget about culture. Never forget about culture. 3 turns for a 5 adjacency district. Yes, please. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Glorious Petra, Matthew Wilkinson, Paul Coffey, Portland, Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Davalex, Skeptical Bear, Alex Noob, Cinnamon Beard, Petra Ryan, Matthew Hatch, Rom88, Radiatore, Private Selection, Genoa Salami, Boyzoro, Callum Billy, Garrett Gowan, Polar Beret, El Truant, Creston, RB Hedged, Mushkin Mandletort, Esri Dax, Deeble Time, Shoelace, Burial, I'm Daft, Gooberman, Clint Tennis, Dr. Bobby, Polar Wallabear, Mixomatosis, MTG Golfman, Victor McPupster. Thank you everyone for your support. See you all in the next video. Goodbye!